Yes, Bollywood, the industry famous for its subtlety and grounded approach to telling characters based, deeply disturbing films, remade the Korean classic Old Boy. You already know this film is bad, but why is it this bad? Old Boy is a deeply polarizing and triggering film. You can't just talk about it casually. It touches on and showcases deeply disturbing things. That's without even getting into the horrifically realistic and brutal violence that Indian censor boards will never allow. And a mainstream actor like Sanjay Dutt, past his prime Ganga Jal days, will do. So, first, let me set the parameters of the aspects on which I will be comparing these films. Let's look at a few iconic aspects of the Old Boy film. The Solitude / conservatorship arc, which is probably the most iconic scenes in the film. The fight scenes, which are again really fucking iconic, especially the corridor scene. The transformation of Desu from the start of the film to when he becomes like fucking gaunt. And the setup. First, let's get into the conservatorship arc. When we see Desu, the main goal of the character is finding out why he has been captured. It is then important to analyze how bad his situation really is. In the original film, Desu, who was a fat drunkard, to Oppenheimer level of peak. He's bony and frail, only and made unconscious, and has animalistic rugged hair. Seems like a gaunt man who has seen the worst and survived. Sanjay Dutt, on the other hand, is a 6 feet tall hunk who never really dramatically loses weight, and through the solitude and wonton diet arc, looks like a weak, dilapidated man. He's still bigger than most guys around him. That is why he never looks scary or desperate like a wounded, starving lion, but just sad and a depressed man who still seems to be leading a materialistically good life. Just look at Nawaz in Raman Raghav 2.0 or Kamal Hassan in the first half of Kalki. They look scary in a real and terrifying way, as opposed to some bouncer who throws you out because you decided to put on a wig for you and your homie to get in the club for free. The reason why Old Boy is so hyped and still discussed today is not only because of its twisted story but also because of inventive and somewhat unprecedented execution of an already. The fight scenes are brutal. The iconic corridor scene is a masterclass in staging and choreography. While in Zinda, Baba just seems to gets tired midway through and remembers that he is the hero of a mainstream Hindi film and throws a guy off the floor into the air even after being stabbed in the back and being starved for years. By the way, this man is supposed to be playing a software engineer. I know gym trainers who inject steroids that look weaker than Sanjay Dutt. Formation. The physical transformation is only a facet to portray the drastic psychological transformation Desu goes through, starting out as an average, carefree mess of a man to a desperate psychotic killer. The desperation is a defining characteristic of the character, showcased through the squid eating, suicide allowing, or tongue biting scenes. Compare that to Zinda, where Bala
क्या बोलूं क्या अब मैं इस पे मैं कुछ बोल ही नहीं सकता
is just walking around, snoozing his way through the revenge plot. He's never shown to be nearly as desperate as Desu, who literally jacked off to pixels. Imagine being so desperate. Like, imagine. You would have to imagine something like that, right? The setup. The setup of an average man who drinks around and he has done nothing noteworthy in his life, becoming a bloodthirsty, teeth plugging maniac, is far more interesting than a rich software engineer who has everything going for him grow out his wig a little bit and just act tough. The role demands commitment that I'm sorry to say the makers of the film could not recreate. There are other aspects like Sanjay Dutt's acting in this film not being that great, or the camera work and set designs being really bad. Although I do like that the film was set in an Southeast Asian country. I think they're supposed to be in Singapore or Bangkok, although they never really say it. Wait, it is in Thailand. It is in Bangkok, right? And I like that because it's better than recreating those scenes in India and refiguring out how you will set that up. So the film did make some good choices, but overall, compared to the original Old Boy, this film was really bad. And even just as an its own project, I think the film suffers a lot because of really terrible acting or dated references and humor. That's the video. I can go into a deeper discussion if you guys like. So let's see, comment down below what I should cover next.